Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for coming out to this event, Christmas for Congo. Is everybody enjoying the food? It's good. I'd like to thank the chefs that are volunteering for us from CSN, cooking a wonderful meal. So like Mr. Emmanuel Biaben said, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the heart of Africa. So as we are starting Congo Justice, we're doing a lot of outreach and we're talking to people about what's happening in the Congo. And one of the big problems is people don't know Congo. Sometimes people think you're talking about a drum. There's no attention to what's going on in the Congo right now. And as the heart of Africa, this has a very detrimental effect to the entire continent. So to get a grasp on the magnitude of this country, which is the size of the United States east of the Mississippi River, this is a massive country. It is incredibly rich in resources. It's got an estimated $24 trillion in resources. It has the second largest river on earth. It's a massive country. It's one of the most important countries in the world. And nobody knows about it. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the perception and how much attention we're allowing for this very important country. So with Congo Justice, we are raising the awareness. We're bringing Congo to the spotlight. They've suffered for too long. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the beginning of this. But first off, like Emmanuel said, the Congo is the heart of Africa. And as the heart is the most important organ in the body, this is a vital country. And you can see the proximity of where the Congo is in Africa. It's in the lushest area. It's a geographical miracle, just where the Congo is and the amount of resources that it has. There's a story that when God created the universe, it took him 6 days to create the universe. And after the 6 days, he was so tired that he dropped everything and laid down in the Congo. So Congo became blessed with everything from the beginning to the end of the periodic table. All the minerals are in Congo. The agricultural capacity is enough to feed the entire world. Not just Africa, but the world. So, myself, I'm American. I grew up in America. There's an idea that somehow Africa doesn't have enough food. I grew up in the 1980s, and we heard a lot about the situation in Ethiopia. But unfortunately, the kind of advocacy and the kind of attention that America started to give was just to send food, just to send some toothpaste or some sandals. Many times, the way Americans approach Africa is to send them something. But there's something tremendously wrong with this approach, because Africa has everything. Everything is there. Even within Congo, there's enough resources there to feed the world. The agricultural, 80 million hectares of arable land. The Congo River. Every year in the Congo River, over 1 billion metric tons of fish die because they're not being fished. Food is just dying. This can feed the continent. Recently there was a famine. It's still going on. People are still suffering from the famine in Somalia. People are going to Ethiopia. People are going to Kenya. I have to ask the question, why? There is enough food to go around. But somehow this country, the DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo, is not able to produce its resources. And there is something seriously wrong with this. That's impact goes far beyond the Congo. Second largest rainforest in the world. Critical to the fight against climate change. Hydroelectric power. 13% of the entire world's hydroelectric capacity. So Africa is considered the dark continent. There's not enough electricity. Just within Congo, just within the Congo River, is enough to give electricity to 3 times what Africa needs right now. There's other resources in the country, but unfortunately the resources in the Congo are not being used. They're still using the generators from the colonial time. There's something tremendously, tremendously wrong that we don't know about this crisis. We hear a lot about a lot of crises in the world. We hear about tsunamis. We hear about famines. We hear about many things. Why don't we hear about Congo? So we want to draw this attention. Congo matters, and we have to start paying attention. I heard recently that Santa Claus had to relocate to the Congo. Does anybody, all the parents, there's a lot of parents out there, and everybody has their Christmas list. All the kids got the Christmas lists. There must be many video games. There must be many cameras. There must be many cell phones, iPod, everything. I don't know. There's many of them. Everybody wants them. These resources are coming from the Congo, the automobile industry. And the irony, the cruel irony of the situation is that as these are bringing people a Merry Christmas over here, it's causing conflict over there. Nothing is going back to the country. Nothing is going back to the Congo. There's something terribly wrong, and we need to raise awareness about this. The Global Hunger Index for 2011, Congo is at the bottom. At the very bottom. For the past decade, the biggest loser is Congo. The Human Development Index that covers the quality of life. Again, Congo is at the bottom. The leading cause of death, at least in developed nations, is heart disease. If your heart has a disease, you are going to die. The heart is the weakest. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, being the heart of Africa, why is it the weakest nation in the world? And why isn't it not in the news? Why isn't it in the newspapers? Why isn't it on the television? Why do I have to go on the internet, and why do I have to go and do independent research to find out about this? More people should know about this tragedy so we can do something. If we know about it, people will generally want to help. But unfortunately, nobody knows about the Congo. Current situation over the past little over a decade, since the 2 wars in the Congo from 96 and 98, there were 2 wars the second one called Africa's World War, bringing in 9 neighboring countries in a massive war. Since that time, 45,000 people are dying every month. 7, 8, 9 million, who knows how many millions of people are dying. The estimations are 7 million, 8 million. You start to lose count of how many people are dying. This is tremendous. And we hear about many Holocausts. We know about the Holocaust. We know about Rwanda. We know about Darfur. We don't know anything about the Congo. The situation is an emergency, and we are working to bring together the African community, the greater Los. Ultimately, everybody has to come together, but we really want to work together to bring unity amongst the African community to stand up for a strong, powerful Congo that can benefit the entire continent. I'd like to thank all of the leaders from the different African countries that are with us this evening and representatives from the community. Thank you so much for coming out, and all the communities. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's very important. And me not being from the Congo, but I know there's many people here that are from the DRC. And like Emmanuel said, with the recent elections, there is a brewing civil war that is very potentially going to draw in neighboring countries again. They're very upset. How does a president get reelected that his country is at the bottom of these reports? How does that happen? There's something very wrong. World Health Statistics for 2011, Africa's at the bottom. Deaths per birth, Africa's at the bottom. Why? We really want to change this. We really want to bring unity. The only way we can change this is if we work together. There's a strategy to conquer is divide and conquer. In 1884 and 1885, to get some perspective in terms of why Congo is in such a weakened state right now, to understand why there's so much division, we have to go back to the Berlin Conference, when a handful of aristocratic, very powerful Europeans looked at the African cake, which it was called, and everybody wanted to get a piece of that magnificent African cake. The greatest piece of African cake went to King Leopold of Belgium. We don't have time to go into all the details of the history, but it is important to understand that to really solve a problem, we have to understand the cause of the problem. Sometimes when I think about our foreign policy and our humanitarian aid, many times it's like the pharmaceutical industry, treating a symptom rather than the cause. So if you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have compulsive behavior, many times the pharmaceutical industry wants to give you a pill. But it's more difficult to actually solve the cause of the problem, which is usually relationship problems that have to be worked out. So in looking at the affairs in Africa, we have to go back to the cause of the problem. And in Congo, we have a series of dictators that really put in cycle a system of corruption, a system of exploitation that has yet to cease. So what is happening right now in the Congo is very much connected to the history, and it continues. So as Africa was cut up into different pieces, there was a type of system of dividing and conquering. And if that continues, right now in Congo, there's limited resources. There's unlimited resources and there's limited resources. And the mines, the minerals that are being extracted from the Congo, have a limit. Some estimations and some of the mines are that within 30 years, some of these mines are going to cease to produce the minerals. If nothing is done, and within 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years, however many years, if the Congo is left with nothing, this is going to have a very serious effect on the entire continent. So we are imploring, we're crying out to bring unity. So we're not going to go into the details of the leaders, but from Leopold there was Belgian colonial rule, Mobutu. Laurent Desire Kabila was installed as president in the first Congo War, and there was a lot of conflict, and he was assassinated, and his son was placed as the president in 2003. He wasn't elected in 2003. He was installed as president in 2003. Currently, he's been reelected. I think the Congolese here and anybody that's been following this election is very upset. There was protests all over the world. and hardly any mention in the media. The Supreme Court rejected the opposition's petition for a recall of the election. Right now, people are frustrated. People have had enough. They wouldn't want another 5 years of a president that has led the country to the bottom. This is a very serious issue. So this evening, as we come together, as we are celebrating the holidays together, we're tremendously blessed, and we're grateful to be able to be here and enjoy the great food again. But we really are desperate to bring together people to address the situation in Congo. And not just for the Congo, but so Congo can use its resources to help the continent. And that at the same time, the Congo can benefit from those resources. Why is it that $24 trillion in resources, a nation that has that much resources, is so weak? So we like to just thank you so much for taking the time to come to the event. We have some more music. I don't know how much more food we have. Everybody's getting pretty full. But it's a serious time. We sent out a lot of emails to the media, or to give the numbers to the multimedia, the news stations. Please call. Call the media. Why are you not paying attention to the Congo? Why are you not paying attention to the deadliest conflict since World War II? Everybody's got a cell phone. We're all benefiting in one way, shape, or form from the Congo. So please, take some time to mobilize. Take some time to work together. Call your elected official. So as I'm sure I'm running out of time, I have really no concept of time. We have a resolution that is going to be passed around. And this resolution is to put pressure on our politicians to enforce a public law. There's one law. When President Obama was in the Senate, he wrote one law that became a public law. And that law is a comprehensive law to help the Congo. It's very specific to help the Congo. Unfortunately, we look at the current reality, we look at the recent reports, and the cycle of violence has continued unabated. We hear speeches from politicians saying, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. We know the elections were flawed, but they go short of intervening beyond that. This law obligates America. It's America's duty to be involved in the Congo as per public law. If you go outside and you run a red light, you break the law, you're going to get a ticket. Right now, we're breaking the law by not being involved in the Congo. The fact that Congo is still in such a weakened state, we're not fulfilling our obligation in the law. So this resolution, which this next one I don't think anybody's going to be able to read, even myself. This resolution is basically quotes from the United Nations report, from Human Rights Watch report, showing what is going on in the Congo for the past decade up until today. A copy of this resolution is going to be circulated for everybody to look over, and we want to push our politicians just to follow the law. The law was written by President Obama, when he was in the Senate. It was signed by then President George W. Bush. It passed unanimously in the Senate. Everybody in the Senate knows about it. Everybody knows about this law. We want to use our unity together. We've got, I think, every ethnicity in the globe here today. And that's beautiful. And we want to use that unity. We want to use this potential that we have just in this room. You know, God has a way of bringing people together. And as we're here, we want to use this opportunity to come together to get our politicians to do the right thing. We have tremendous influence in America, and we don't want to just send food. We don't want to just send things. We want to push our politicians to change the policies, to change how we're involved in Africa, so that we can benefit, but at the same time, Africa can benefit. So I'd like to thank everybody so much, all the leaders, all the support, everybody that came out tonight. God bless you, and enjoy the meal, enjoy the rest of the food, and we have some more leaders that will be speaking. Thank you so much.